For 70 years, J. Frank Schmidt and Son Company has been growing new ideas. They're the originators of the well-known red sunset maple and introducer of more than 50 other patented or trademark cultivars. Their company is known as a premier source of up-to-date deciduous tree cultivars and new introductions. More than 500 varieties and cultivars of deciduous trees are carefully grown on their rich Willamette Valley soils in the heart of Oregon, the nursery state. Today we meet with Nancy Bewley to take us on a behind-the-scenes tour of what a day-to-day looks like in their life.
This is about 2 months worth of work here. It's just, they propagate really quickly and we have the systems down, and we have a lot of different varieties here that are ready to go out for fall planting.
Okay, and so when we talk about vegetative cuttings, I think this is a lilac here, but I think this really demonstrates well what's going on here. So they're using just a very small piece of stem material. They're then dipping this into a rooting hormone.
Correct.
And then sticking it into this tray. And so there'll be misters in the house when they're running. So they're getting just little doses of fog or water to limit the transpiration of the leaf.
Right.
So that and the whole goal with propagation is we need this little guy to survive long enough to put on roots.
Right. Yeah, I call this the solar panel when I give tours. It's a cutting. There's a bud at the bottom and a solar panel at the top, and this is what powers the rooting.
Okay, Nancy, we're going to follow our rooted red maple cutting all the way from the greenhouse to a mature tree. So we're looking at a tree here that is maybe, 2 years older than our rooted cutting, is that right?
About 2 years from the point where it was in the little container in the greenhouse. After it left the greenhouse, it was transplanted into a transplant bed where it was grown for a season and then fall planted here, so two falls ago.
Okay.
So it was planted out here and then grown for a whole year just as a shrub. And in that year, that's the year we develop roots. We call that the 0 year.
Okay, Nancy, so we just left our 2-year-old liner, and so we've got a nice straight tree with a good root system. And so the next step is putting them out into wider spacing, and what are our objectives here?
The trees that we were standing in, there was a row here, so they've harvested every other row. These are on wide row spacings, and this is the biggest tree that we grow. And this tree will be about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 caliper. The objective is just to have a finished tree to send out to growers. Most of these will go to other growers like in Illinois or Kansas or Kentucky, all over the country. So we will dig these as bare root trees, and we have a digging machine that drives over the top, and there's a U-shaped blade that goes underneath and uproots the trees, and then they are picked up, graded, and stored, and then shipped generally in refrigerated trucks, and they go to other growers who will either put them out in their fields to grow to 3, 4, 5, 6 inch caliper for another 3 to sometimes 7, 10 years, depending on how big they want the finished tree to be. Or in containers in the southeast, or in California, a lot of the trees go into containers, and they'll just be shipped bare root to other markets to be grown locally in their local conditions.